We are drawn to the ocean. We build our homes along its shores, seeking peace in the endless blue. We love the sound of the waves. We love the feel of the warm sand. We love the sight of the sun setting over the water. A beach house is a dream for many. It is a place for happy memories. It is a place for family. It is a place for rest. But the ocean has secrets. It is vast and deep. It holds stories we cannot understand. At night, when the sun is gone and the beach is dark, the water tells a different tale. The gentle waves can sound like whispers. The wind can carry sounds that do not belong. Sometimes the things that come from the sea are not friendly. Sometimes the dream of a beach house becomes a nightmare. Welcome to the dark side of the beach. Our first story comes from a young couple, Mark and Sarah. They had just gotten married. They rented a small, charming beach house for their honeymoon. It was an old house, made of wood that had been weathered by the salt and the sun. It stood on stilts, right on the edge of the sand, far from the nearest town. They wanted to be alone, away from everything. The first few days were perfect. They walked on the beach, swam in the ocean, watched the beautiful sunsets. But on the third night, that feeling began to change. They started to feel like they were not alone after all. The moon was bright that night. It made the sand glow with a soft silver light. Mark and Sarah were sitting on the deck, looking at the stars. That is when Mark saw him, a dark figure standing on the shore near the water's edge. He was just standing there, perfectly still, looking at their house. Mark pointed him out to Sarah. She saw him too. Who would be standing on a private beach so late at night? They watched him for a long time. The figure did not move. It was like he was a statue, a sentinel guarding the sea. They decided to go inside and lock the doors. They told each other it was probably just a local fisherman, someone lost. From the living room window they could still see him, the dark shape against the shimmering water. The clock ticked past midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Every time they looked, he was still there. They were too scared to go to sleep. The moon began to set, and the sky started to get a little less dark. As the first light of dawn touched the horizon, they looked again. The figure was gone. He had vanished as silently as he had appeared. Mark and Sarah were exhausted, but relieved that the strange man was gone. They decided to get some sleep, but their peace was shattered by a loud noise. It was a knock. A loud, firm knock on the front door. It was not even sunrise yet. Who could be knocking at this hour? The knocking came again, harder this time, demanding, urgent. Then they heard a voice. A low, gravelly voice calling from outside. It was just a strange guttural voice, not words. It was not human. Mark crept out and peeked through the window. He looked through the peephole. There was no one there. The porch was empty. The beach was empty. It was as if no one had ever been there. They decided they could not stay another night. For a moment, she almost felt silly for being so scared. Then she saw them. Footprints in the sand on the porch. A single set of footprints leading from the ocean up the stairs to their front door. Her blood ran cold. She called for Mark. The footprints stopped right at their door. They were wet, and they were inside the house. Our second account involves a family of 4. Tom, Lisa, Emily, Josh. They rented a large modern beach house for a week-long summer vacation. The children were excited to have the beach as their backyard. They felt happy and relaxed. Later that night, around 3 a.m., Lisa woke up thirsty and went to the kitchen. The house was dark, lit only by the moon. She glanced out at the ocean. She looked at the house next door. It appeared empty, but in one of the upstairs windows, she saw a face. A little girl with long dark hair staring back at her. Lisa froze, her heart starting to beat faster. The girl stood unmoving, her pale face illuminated by the moonlight. She quickly moved away, trying to calm herself. The next day, the house looked deserted. Tom told her she had probably been dreaming. But that night, Lisa woke again and looked. The girl was there again, the same empty stare. But this time, she was not alone. A tall, dark shadow, a man, stood behind her. Next day determined, Lisa went to the house. Inside, empty rooms, clearly abandoned for years. Panicked, she went to an old man down the street.
He said the house had been empty for over 20 years. A man lived there with his young daughter.
One night, a terrible tragedy happened. The father, in rage, drowned his little girl in the ocean in front of the house, then disappeared. Sometimes people still see the little girl searching for a friend to play with. Lisa felt sick. She had to get her family out, now. In Emily's room, she found a drawing. It showed 2 stick figures holding hands, Emily with her blonde hair and a girl with long, dark hair, in front of the house next door.
Who is this, sweetie?
That's my new friend. She comes to play with me at night. She doesn't have a name. She just asks me to come play in the water. She says it's fun to float in the dark.
Lisa grabbed her daughter and held her tight. They left immediately, not even finishing packing. As they drove away, Tom glanced back. For just a second, a pale little girl with long dark hair watched from the window. The drawing was later found in the trash. But the memory of that invitation to float in the dark has haunted them forever. Our final story is about 4 college friends, Alex, Ben, Chloe, Dana. They found a cheap deal, a large, slightly isolated house right on the beach. They laughed and celebrated, then turned the music off. Only the waves remained. Alex heard something else. A faint sound carried on the wind. It sounded like singing. Strange, melodic, unsettling. Dana heard it too. Ben and Chloe did not. Alex started recording. After a few minutes, it faded away. All he could hear was the wind and the waves. The next night, around the same time, all 4 of them heard it. A haunting melody pulled at them. Dana stood and walked toward the beach steps. Ben pulled her back. They rushed inside and locked the doors and windows. The singing came closer. It sounded like it was right outside the door. They could hear it through the walls. A siren's call, beautiful and terrifying. At sunrise, they packed and fled, the melody echoing in their minds. Later, Alex found legends of sailors lost in a terrible storm, their mournful songs calling others to join them. The ocean is more than water. It holds power and mystery. A beach house can look like paradise, but you are never truly alone by the sea. The tide brings things that do not belong. It leaves whispers, figures in the dark, songs that call from the deep. Next time you are by the ocean at night, listen carefully. Listen past the waves. A whisper, a footstep, a song. Remember the watcher on the shore. Remember the girl in the window. Remember the sound from the sea.